It's the night of Christmas, and all throughout the house, all the children are wondering what's going on with Congress and the Senate House. But the chips are chipping and the birds are bursting. I'm wondering, you're wondering, where they're going to get this done and how soon we're going to get to the finish line. It's a Merry Christmas for all, and for all a good evening, and certainly not just for tonight. The question is, when will Congress stop acting like Grinches and start getting into the spirit? It's a time of the season to start doing what delivers cheers, not jeers. And with this is a special evenings recording of Evenings LALATE. Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Evenings LALATE, and it's Christmas Eve. Thank you for joining me on a special evening in which there's a lot of activity at Congress today. But the activity went much of nowhere, and a series of tweets from Nancy Pelosi left people confused as well. I'll be going over those words like enrolled and enrollment, and what's going on with a stopgap, and what's going on with the pocket veto. All these words that don't deliver a lot of holiday cheer, but a lot of headaches. I'm here to get you through this. So please subscribe. Please subscribe because I'm getting you to the finish line, and we're figuring out how to get from point A to point B while delivering a little bit of holiday cheer along the way. Also, like this video. In this video, I'll be going over why Nancy Pelosi talked about an enrollment and enrolled, and what does that really mean? What's going on with the stopgap, and what will happen next week as well. So many developments, and so much happening across the board. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here this morning, or actually this evening, is that Nancy Pelosi sent out a tweet minutes ago that's left a lot of viewers confused and baffled when she said that she's now enrolled you all. What is she enrolling us in? Is this kindergarten? Children back on the school ground? Children going hungry? No. What is an enrolled bill? An enrolled bill means that the bill that she sent to the President of the United States, not singly by herself, but with the entire Congress as an entire body, involves a extension of the stopgap period, the extension of which the federal government is open. To make it even simpler, the word enrollment or enrolled means that there's an extension of time to keep the federal government open until the bill is actually signed. The bill is enrolled, meaning it has an add-on to keep the federal government extended open for a duration to allow the president time to sign the bill. The enrollment period is until Sunday, we now realize, and the enrollment period means that the bill will expire and the federal government will shut down on Sunday. Ironically, Sunday, December 27th, is also the day in which your PUA, UI, and FPUC expire. So why did Nancy Pelosi use that word in a tweet today? Well, the phrasing and the verb of the tweet was off-center because it made it sound like she had just sent a new bill to the president. She had not. So, yeah. She's referring to something she did a few days ago. So, to make it very clear again, there is no new bill sent to the president today that is enrolled. She's referring to the bill that was sent to the president, the only bill that was sent to the president this week, that is also currently enrolled and will become unenrolled, and we will roll over on Sunday. Oh, so what's going on next with the stopgap and the veto and the pocket veto and all those words? Well, as you sit here right now, the bill as passed that is currently on the president's table to sign, not sign, or veto had enough votes when it passed the Senate and passed the House. So both the Senate and the House can override in a veto if the president chooses to veto the bill. Most indications suggest he will not veto the bill, that he'll just let it sit there. Moreover, Nancy Pelosi's taken a path currently to amend the bill rather than allow the bill to be vetoed. So on Monday, what she's going to do is she's going to introduce yet again the same thing she did today, which is an amendment to the bill to provide $600 stimulus check be raised to $2,000. This is categorically going to fail on the long term. Why? Because the president called for 4 things to be revised, not one item to be amended. He asked for 4 items to be amended. 1, the stimulus check, which she's doing. 2, the foreign government monies, which she's refusing to take out, she now indicates. And 3, the money for the museums, including the Smithsonian, $1 billion, which she also is refusing to take out. Why is she refusing to take out money for foreign countries and for the Smithsonian? She does not explain. How did that money get in there? It came from the Democrats, we now know. Why are the Democrats ignoring that issue? We don't know. How did it get slid silently into a 5,000-page bill to surprise both Republicans and the White House? We don't know. Ultimately, the president did not agree to those provisions during the negotiations of 2 weeks. And then ultimately he was blindsided, and so were Republicans when that language was inserted by the Democrats. Now, on the other side, today, Kevin McCarthy said, you know what, I'm going to put a standalone bill up for a vote to just take out the foreign aid for governments. He did not talk about the stimulus check. So on his stance, he just did one, again, of the 4 items the president asked. Again, not sufficient, and again, went nowhere. So what's going to happen on Monday? Monday, by all accounts, Nancy again will amend one of the 4 provisions, pass in the House, and then send it to the Senate. At that point, Mitch McConnell has 3 choices. 1, he can ultimately still override the president's veto of the bill or pocket veto of the bill. 2, Mitch can do nothing, receive Nancy's bill and do nothing, and sit back and say, I'm not doing anything. Or 3, he can do what I believe he's going to do, which is take the 4 items the president is asked to have amended, amend the bill, put it for a vote, and see what happens. Ultimately, even doing that, doing exactly what the president asked for, amending those 4 things, would get Mitch in the favors of Georgia voters, in the favors of the president, and the favors of U.S. viewers. Why? Because U.S. viewers do not support this foreign aid to the foreign governments. They don't support it. They also don't support the $1 billion to the museums and the Smithsonian. And they do support a stimulus check up to $2,000. So the 3 things that the president has, 3 of the 4 things the president has asked for, came from social media the day before. Social media was asking for the 3 things. So if Mitch does exactly what the president asked for, he's in essence doing exactly what America's asked for. Now, what will happen when Mitch does that? It will either pass the Senate or fail in the Senate. But in my account, I don't think it makes much of a difference for purposes of Mitch or the Georgia Senate seats, because ultimately the failure would be the result of those 4, 10, 20 miserly Republicans who never wanted to give you anything. The Ron Johnsons of the world, the Lamar Alexanders, the Chuck Grassley's. They don't want to spend you any money. And that doesn't change today and doesn't change tomorrow. What does change is whether Mitch McConnell does exactly what he was told and does it now. Now, this is what's really interesting about the subject matter. Actually, 2 items that's interesting about the subject matter. 1, Mitch McConnell at the start of this process said that he would do whatever the president wants to do, that it doesn't make a difference what congressional leaders want, because ultimately the president is the determining factor. So Mitch McConnell said that. Is he going to do what he says? Papa don't preach. That's the first item. The second item, strangely enough, is the dichotomy of the press. The press has not been accurate, informed, or on the ball on anything about this matter in the last 24 hours. Let me explain what's going on. Yesterday, the press's news reports were basically saying that the Democrats had always offered you $2,000. Not true. During the scope of this negotiations, they backed the prom creators who gave you 0 for a stimulus check. It was only the result of the purple power in this channel that a stimulus check was included with a hashtag stimulus check or shutdown. It was only the efforts of this channel to get a stimulus check into the bill, and that one ultimately was backed and supported by Josh Hawley and Bernie Sanders. The Democrats did not put a stimulus check in the bill. Mitch McConnell did $600 because he knew he was going to lose those Georgia Senate seats. Again, 1, the Democrats didn't put a stimulus check in the bill. 2, they backed the palm creators who had no stimulus check in the bill. And 3, they didn't support Josh Hawley and Bernie Sanders. And now they're saying they wanted a $2,000 stimulus check? Not true. Also not true is the sort of narrative that's going across broadcast media that your unemployment benefits are lapsing next week or this weekend because of what's happening today. That's also not true. Ultimately, you were already going inactive over the last few days in many states, and the ability to get paid that first week of January has nothing to do with what's going on this week. You were never going to get paid on time for the first week of January unemployment benefits or second week because this has been left to the 11th hour. So as we sit back, is the $2,000 stimulus check coming out? Is the $2,000 stimulus check going to be sent, and how will it be sent? Mitch McConnell's path to getting it sent is to do the 4 amendments as the president asked for, and to get the president to urge Republicans in the Senate to pass it. It's also to slam back at Nancy Pelosi and say, hey, why are you leaving in the federal aid to federal governments because the president, again, won't sign the bill? That's exactly what he didn't ask for. And that if everyone wakes up and does exactly what the president asked for, 4 items, which are 4 items that American people support, if they do exactly what the president asked for, then we'll have a $2,000 stimulus check. It's as easy as that. It can be done in less than 24 hours, rather than default into bickering and confusion. Now, as we look at unemployment benefits going into this weekend, where are we? Because I know this is going to be confusion for others. This is also where the fight narrative is hitting today as well. Broadcast media is saying, you know what, unemployment benefits are going to lapse because of. Let me explain what's going on. Because Congress left us to the 11th hour, the following events will happen this weekend and then at the end of this month, unless something happens. 1, the eviction moratorium will expire, the federal one, the CDC. 2nd, UI and PUA will expire this Sunday, or PUC. 3rd, FPUC will still not be live. It will still not have been passed. It will still not have been brought back. And then everything else that you've wondered about, like rent aid, more broadband, free broadband, SNAP increases, child support, all those wonderful things that are actually in this bill will also still not be formulated. And as you sit here today, it causes a lot of confusion and a lot of perplexity as to why is Congress doing this. If you put in so much effort to get a bill passed over the last 2 weeks, then why now would you suddenly not want to put an effort in to do it right? Why would you make this a partisan bickering now when you could have had a bill agreed upon days earlier? It's that type of confusion that viewers simply don't understand. I don't understand it either. But we have seen this for a while. We had seen over the summer where Nancy Pelosi put in $900 billion for state and local, and that held up your stimulus check. But we often thought that was being done for partisan reasons to hurt the president. Then in the fall, she did the same thing where she put in money for salary raises to impede your passage of a stimulus check. Now this time, she's leaving in foreign aid to foreign governments to, again, impede your stimulus check. What purpose does it serve? The only purpose it serves is to win Georgia Senate races. If all we are ever done is being used as a pawn in political positioning to both the Republicans and Democrats, we never get from point A to point B. Viewers continually wonder if this is going to continue when we come into February. Ultimately, I believe that you're going to get the $2,000 stimulus check. It's been a big leap to get from a narrative of a $600 stimulus check to a $2,000 one. It's not an easy path, it's not an easy jump, but now we're at that jump. The only jump now is to get past the partisan bickering and do what has been bipartisan, bicameral since day one. And ultimately, if they do that, we haven't really lost much time. The president was never going to sign the bill this week. He was always going to sign it next week. And with this, we now understand that the federal government will shut down on Sunday. The question is, when will we get it done before then? As always, stay informed, stay smiling. Coming up next is a special live recording of a holiday tribute and a Christmas party on Purple Power Live. As always.